I think there's a major discrepancy between most of the RAs because there's some who will like hang out with kids. Like I've heard of people drinking with their RAs, and like I personally like our RAs like I respect so much. We have basically two because the assistant hall director is on our floor, and she's the most awesome RA I've met yet here, and she like actually cares about us. She encourages us to behave, but she like doesn't try like she tries to teach us lessons rather than like getting us in trouble. Like most of the other RAs are just out to like get more people in trouble and like.
Okay, so I feel like there's a difference between RAs in the RA community because some of them take their job more seriously than others. Um, some RAs I feel like are here to do their job. They're here to um, take advantage of what they're given and they do their job correctly and you feel more comfortable around those RAs. But there are other RAs that are here, I feel like, just to get students in trouble. And I've definitely seen that with my own experience when I got written up. There was a belligerently drunk girl in our hallway as we were getting written up, and the RA did nothing about that. And when I was written up, I was almost completely sober, and I feel like that is not fair, and she should have taken responsibility for the girl who was clearly intoxicated, and that's why I feel like some RAs are cooler than others.
There's a huge difference between all the RAs. You can definitely tell the two types of RAs there are. The first type are the RAs who decide to become one just to get like free housing, free meals, who do it for the benefits and just because it's just easier, I guess, for them. And those RAs are the ones who are like there for you, who will talk to you, who will drink with you even. I know a few RAs who become an RA for that reason and who literally drink with us, who like us freshmen. And then they're the ones who you can trust and talk to, and the ones who have like lives of their own that where they don't have to like interfere.
I do remember the meeting at the beginning of the year about the drug, alcohol, all the code violations, but it was included in the meeting with just like getting to know our dorm, so it really wasn't emphasized that much, and we didn't know what like the punishments were. Like I had no idea. I'd get a letter home from my parents, and I think that's kind of annoying because I'm 18 years old and I shouldn't have a letter home to my parents, and if I did know that in advance, I would not have violated the honor code.
The first meeting with our RA was in the year, and I do remember him briefly talking about the student conduct code and the policies in the dorms, but I definitely feel like it wasn't emphasized enough and the consequences weren't quite clear, which is why I feel like more goes on in the dorms because of this, and because it wasn't emphasized, students don't realize the consequences, and this is the big reason why students go against this conduct code.
I do not feel as if I need to be more educated about the student conduct code. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious to all of us what is allowed and what's not, but I think the thing we need to be educated about is the punishments and how sneaky RAs can be. I just feel like if we knew that RAs will stand outside your door to hear you say the word shots or to hear you say, let's smoke weed, I think we should be aware that RAs will do anything to get you in trouble. I think that we need to know that a letter will be sent home because I never knew that until I got written up my first time. And when, like, I'm 18 years old. My parents don't need to know anything. Like, my hall director was explaining to me how it's because like before students were getting in trouble, their parents weren't knowing, and it was a problem, which I understand. But if it's your first write-up, there is no need for letters to be home.
Students should be more educated about the student conduct code because it would prevent them from getting written up if they knew and were more aware of the consequences of their actions.
Sometimes I feel like there's a falsified image of the RAs because they say that they're here to help you and protect you, but there's been a couple instances when I've wanted help with something. Like one day there was this temperature box on my floor that was fizzing. What? And we called it the fizzing box, and there was nothing we could do about it. It was right next to our room, and all I wanted to do was go to sleep, but like this fizzing box was right there. And I knocked on my RA's door, and she couldn't really do anything about it, and she just told me to put a fix-it order. And like I just feel like RAs a lot of times are like lazy and don't really want to help you out with your problems. All they really think their job is about is getting you in trouble, but they would never admit that when you first meet them. So, or ever. So, I don't know. Yeah.
There's definitely a falsified image about RAs because coming into the dorms, I felt as if I could definitely go to them for any of my needs, for any questions or anything, but after a few months into the first semester, I realized that many of the RAs aren't really there to help as much. I had a few questions about the dorms and things like that, and I felt like every time I would go to their door, they weren't there, and they should be here. Their job is to help us as students. I know that they have other benefits from being an RA, but their main focus should be on advising students, especially those who live in the dorms.